and welcome back, Fired Addicts, to another episode of Travis Does Fire. Today, I broke my saw. Alright, so before we get into it, of how I broke my saw and what I did to it, elephant in the room, look behind me, we got some logs. Check this out. So, nice little load. I'm told this is all alder. I've never had alder in the wood yard yet. And here it is. Not too dirty, pretty big stuff, pretty small stuff, and it's prime firewood. The stuff that was a mill grade, the guy who dropped it took it for himself. This is firewood grade. There are some knots in here, but some of it can be split by hand, and I'm excited to do that. And I'll show this to you. But the story is behind these logs is my son's daycare. There's a parent who drops off their kids and picks them up, and the guy drives a beat up truck. And no offense to the guy, you may meet him on the channel, and he may be watching this, but the truck just looks like a tree service truck. And he has this monster 3-axle dump trailer with a gas powered hoist, and it just looks like tree service. So one day I caught his eye picking up my son, and he was there picking up his daughter. I think they're in the same class, and I'm like, hey, are you by chance an arborist? He says yes. And then he mentioned that he's seen my channel. I said, thank you, that's awesome. And we got to chatting for a second before we could pick up our kids, and we exchanged numbers, or I gave him my card. And so he texted me. Well, fast forward a few days, my dad decided that he wants some trees dropped. So I made the connection. He came out for a quote, and he won the bid. So he's coming out in a few days. Hopefully you'll see that footage. But in between that period where he's gonna come, he's like, Travis, do you want some alder logs? I'm like, sure, why not? I think we can figure it out. And he was able to maneuver down my hill driveway and back it up here. And the ruts from see the damage here in the grass. That's gnarly. That's crazy. But yeah, the ruts from him coming in yesterday are not too bad. Not too bad. But just the amount of wood, I'm pretty sure this is gonna yield probably a cord. But free is free. I'll probably give him a few bucks for lunch and gas money, and a shout out on the channel, but I filmed that when it comes back to do the trees for my parents. Anyway, let me show you my saw. Okay, so I hope you can see. Okay, but I was, so to be prepared for the logs that you just saw, I wanted to get the clone saw ready to rock and roll. There's some issues with it, and I wanted to get it dialed in because it's nice to be able to stand up and buck, and this is the fastest saw that I have. So in preparing for it, having to adjust the carb, I somehow pulled the string out. So bummer. So then what did I do? I go to local Ace Hardware, and they have this rope that you can buy by the foot. It was 39 cents a foot for this rope versus a kit that had a rope and a handle was like $8.50. So if your handle's still good, take the time, go to the local hardware store and buy rope, buy wire, buy chain, whatever you need to do by the foot. It's a lot easier that way than buying a kit because But the diameter, I don't know if you can tell this is original that I got on the saw. This is what I got from Ace Hardware. The thickness is different, and I don't think it makes a difference, but I bought it anyway just in case. But then as I'm coming home, I'm like, can I just use the rope that came with it? Because this is what broke off. It broke off at the recoil, right? And that's almost nothing. That's maybe like a 1/2 inch max of a knotted rope. So what I ended up doing is I saved the rope that I got from the local hardware store. I'll keep it in my tools when I'm in the field, and I'm gonna reuse this in the saw. So I've already taken off this part, the cover before, and I have this part here, and I was trying to fiddle with this, trying to make this work. And there's a few channels and episodes on how to restring a recoil for the 372 XP, and I watched a lot of them trying to figure this out, and I did reach out to my buddy Tony at Bucky Asaz, and he was helpful as well. So I want to do an episode. Now, this channel does not repair things. I am definitely not a small gas engines mechanic. I'm not. But there are a few pointers, a few things that I saw on YouTube that were lacking, and I want to show you. Not everyone has this saw, but if you do, I hope that this helps. So what we're going to do, because I only lost this much string, again, we're going to use the existing string that came with the saw. So what we're going to do is, this came off like this, right? So all you see is this, and what it was is you have this washer and this bolt was in here holding this on to the cover, right? So I took that off with your Allen wrench, right? I took that off and I put this aside, the washer and the bolt put aside, took this off, and this came off. Now I was trying to figure out, now this is bent because I took it off again, but how this goes and rewind. So here's what I figured out. And then in here, in this cover, right where the edge, where the pointer of the Allen wrench is, the little ledge. So that little ledge catches on this end here in theory, right? Now, if you look at this part, there's a little hole at this part, and there's holes all around. And I was thinking that in these holes in the internal, in the plastic here, that there was a small metal like pin that would hold this metal coil part into the plastic part. Well, that does not exist. I'm not quite sure what these holes do and what they mean, but they're there, and they're there to confuse you if you don't know what you're doing. So now don't be confused. They're just there. Don't worry about them. So to get this little doodah, this guy right here at my fingertip, in line with the ledge that's in here, what I did is I pushed it, I kind of pushed this down towards the hole as much as possible, and then I put it in here, and we're going to turn this direction. And it worked, okay? So now we know that it's catching on there. Now leave that on there like this, right? I burnt this end before, and so it's a little bit blunt on the edge, so I'm just gonna squeeze it a little bit with my pliers here. Hopefully that will help it so I can get it through the holes. All right, so make sure that you have your knot, your figure 8 knot in the handle. Take the other end, so through the cover, and then back to the other side, right? And then in here, there's a hole right in there, and we're gonna put this through that hole in here, and then you see it come out. It's a little dot right there. You see it come out, and what in theory, take your Nino's pliers and you can get to it. And I can't get to it yet, so I'm gonna need to get something else tool to get it out. Tweezers. And we're gonna come like this and try to bring up the end of the rope out. Oh, and we got it. Rock and roll. So now it's out like this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tie a simple knot. Like the first, I forget what it's called, the square knot. What? No, not square knot. This is a simple knot that you tie your shoe with. And make sure that it is nice and tight. I'm going to tie so it won't pull out. But I'll let this piece be loose for a reason. And stay with me here. So push this down towards the middle. Put this back into the cover. Let me test it a little bit. Yep, it's catching. All right. So now what we're going to do is take the washer and the bolt back, and we're going to secure this. I did this before, and it wasn't working. You have to put this in and secure this part, the recoil part. I think it's called recoil part, for it to catch and then to actually work, right? So I tried that, and I'm getting super frustrated. So I went back on YouTube looking for it. Then I figured it out. I'm going to share it with you. So now you know. Secure that on there. Okay, that's tight. Now, Now that that's tight on there, now what we're going to do is take our pliers again and we're going to stuff that knot as far down as possible because you don't want to get it caught. And we want to have, so we wanted to have this knot loose up out here, and then put the washer and the bolt on, and then pull the rope down and then jam that in because we don't want the rope underneath the washer. That's key. So push that down, rock and roll. It's tight. Now what you do, and I hope I can do this again, is there's a notch right here, okay? A notch right here. So we're gonna pull some of this rope out, and we're gonna put the rope in the notch. Okay, you see this? And then now we're going to spin this a few times. I hear it working. Now when I do this, I'm gonna hold this to the cover part. I do this, the rope wants to twist, and it's not easy. So I just want to untwist this. Maybe it's just me. I don't know if this is common for a rope like this to get twisted like this, but it's twisting. It's a pain in the butt. So I'm holding it. The rope is still in the notch. I'm holding it. I'm trying to untwist this rope. It's untwisted. Take it out from the notch and see if it works. Ha ha! Yeah. Yeah. We did it. We fixed it. All right. So I hope this was helpful. Hope it made sense. Again, I'm not a repair channel. Just some pro tips on this specific saw. I don't know if this is specific to this model saw. I don't know, but I think that was what I was confused on, having to secure this with the washer and the bolt before you can rewind it. And I was confused on how to do so. You have to put this rope in this notch, and then you use that to spin it around, and then that will power the coil back up. Dig it. So now let's put this back on the saw and try to fire it up, and then maybe if we have time, let's see if this bad boy can cut. Alright, so pull, string, rope works. It's back in place. I can kind of feel when I was pulling on it that it's shortened just that little nit, but I think that should be fine. And you saw me start it. This runs, but the carb still needs adjustment. I'm not sure if it's I'm not sure if it's the specific to this one specific saw. I know sometimes these clone saws, sometimes you get bargain deals, other times you get lemons. And I may have gotten a lemon, I'm not quite sure. But every time I go into the high and low jet here, the low jet part on this part, I can't get, whenever I put the screwdriver in there, the boot inside likes to catch it. And I can't tell if I'm in the groove for the screw to go in and out. So I literally just now took off this whole cover, adjusted it, went all the way back to reset, and did 2 full turns. I'm trying 2 full turns. I did 1.5 turns earlier. Put the cover back on, started it, and the same thing. Went to go adjust it back to 1.5 turns, and that low jet part on this side here, I think that's low jet. The boot was getting in the way. So I hope each time when I need to adjust the carb, I hope I don't need to take this cover off because that's a pain in the butt. Anyway, I hope this was enjoyable episode. I hope that you learned something. If this episode was a yawn, well, I apologize. If you have any ideas of things that you want to see on the channel, you let me know. Anyway, that's it for this time. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Remember, life's too short to be a prick, so be kind to one another. And if you want to be in the podcast, let me know. I've been lacking on the podcast, but if you want to be in the podcast, let me know. I think we've had 2 people on season 2, and I'm still looking for folks and still trying to get people on, but no pressure. It is what it is. I think that will be a fun Sunday morning episode for you all to watch. But yeah, rock and roll. Stay safe, keep cutting. Cheers.